Alright, today we are going to review one and two step equations. So the first four examples all deal with one step to solve our equation, and then 5 through 8 there's two steps to solve the equations. So when we look at the first equation here, it says x plus 4 equals 10. So our goal in solving equations is to get the variable all by itself. So we want to isolate that variable. Well, we have x, so we need to get rid of this plus 4. So the way we get rid of the plus 4, doing the opposite of it. So we're really going to subtract 4 from both sides, because then the plus 4 minus 4, that's going to cross out and give us 0. And we just have x left over. And then we have to do everything to one side. We do it to both sides. So if we subtract 4 from the left, we subtract 4 from the right. 10 minus 4 will give us 6. X equals 6. So we can always check our answer. So we can say, well, 6 plus 4 is equal to 10, and 10 is equal to 10, so that's a true statement. So when we look at number 2, now instead of saying adding, it says subtracting. So it's y minus 5 equals 11. Well, we still need to get rid of that minus 5. So the way we do that is we do the opposite of the negative, which we want to add 5 to both sides. So negative 5 plus 5, it's going to give you 0. So we add 5 to both sides. So if notice I add to the left side of my equation and to the right side, I bring this down, so I have y equal 11 plus 5 is 16. And once again, we can check this. If I know that y is 16, I plug it back in, so I can do 16 minus 5, and 16 minus 5 is 11. So 11 is equal to 11. So that's my check step, so I know my answer is correct. When we look at 3, now this time the variable's on the right side. We're not going to do anything different. So we have 12 equals negative 2b. Well, we need to get the b all by itself, and since they're connected, we want to break them apart. So the negative 2 is connected to the b. Well, that means negative 2 times b. So to get rid of the negative 2, the opposite of multiplication, we're going to divide. So we're going to divide by negative 2. Because negative 2 divided by negative 2, that's going to give us 1. So we're going to be left with 1b. Or we can just say b. So if we divide by negative 2 on the right side, we have to divide by negative 2 on the left side. Well, 12 divided by negative 2 will give us negative 6. So now we know that b is equal to negative 6. And we can plug this back in and check. So if we say 12 equals negative 2 times negative 6, negative 2 times negative 6 is 12. So 12 is equal to 12. Then we get to number 4. Now this is a divided by 3 equals 9. So what number divided by 3 equals 9? Well, the way that we want to solve this, well, division, the opposite of division is multiplication. So what we want to do is we want to multiply both sides times 3, because this is going to be 3 times a divided by 3. Well, 3 divided by 3 is going to cross off, and we're going to be left with just a. So we have just a. And then 9 times 3 is 27. So now we get our answer as a is equal to 27. And once again, we can check this, so we can do 27 divided by 3 equals 9, and 27 divided by 3 is 9, so 9 is equal to 9. Now they're the four basic one-step equations. We had adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. Then we look at the next set. Now these are two steps because we have to do two operations. So once again, our goal in solving an equation is to get the variable all by itself. Well, right here is the variable, so we need to get rid of this negative 4. So we want to start to isolate the variable. So the way we get rid of this negative 4, well, we say, what's the opposite of negative 4? How do we make negative 4 0, our additive inverse? So what we want to do is we want to add 4, because negative 4 plus 4 is going to give us 0, so they're going to cross off. And once again, what we do to one side, we have to do to the other side to keep our equation balanced. So I cross this off, so now I can bring down 3x, 11 plus 4 gives us 15. And then once again, now this is 3 and x are combined, so this is 3 times x. So we have to break them apart, so we have to divide. So we're going to break them apart by dividing. So we can divide by 3, And now I have x is equal to 15 divided by 3 is 5. So we get x is equal to 5. And once again, we can check this, so we plug in 5 for x. So we have 3, and we can plug in my 5. So I plug in 5 for the x, minus 4, and it should equal 11. Well, 3 times 5 is 15. 15 minus 4, and we know 15 minus 4 will give us 11. So that's our check step, so we know that our answer is correct. So once we look at number 6, well, we have our variable. Alright, so we have 2.5a, so if we want to isolate that, that means we need to get rid of a positive 3, so we find our additive inverse to positive 3, well, we need to subtract 3. When we subtract 3, that's going to give us 0. Negative 3 plus, or 3 minus 3, that's going to cross off, give us 0. And negative 7 minus 3, well, that's going to give us negative 10. And now I can bring down my 2.5a. So now we have 2.5a equals negative 10. So what we want to do is we want to divide, because we want to break them apart. So we want to divide by 2.5, divide by 2.5. So the 2.5's cross off. I'm left with a, and now negative 10 divided by 2.5 will give us negative 4. So now once again we can go back and check our answer. So we can do 2.5 times negative 4 plus 3. So plus 3 equals negative 7. Well, 2.5 times negative 4 will give us negative 10, plus 3 equals negative 7, and then negative 10 plus 3. So we have negative 7 is equal to negative 7. Checks out and works correct. Now when we look at number 7, so we have b divided by 4 plus 5 equals 10. So once again, we need to isolate the variable, so we want to isolate the b divided by 4. So we want to get rid of what's hanging off, so that's the plus 5. So we need to do the additive inverse, so we can do plus a negative 5. We just write down negative 5, so 5 minus 5, that crosses off and gives us 0. 10 minus 5 is going to give me 5. So I can bring down my b divided by 4. 10 minus 5 is 5. And now since we're dividing, well, the opposite of division is multiplication. So we want to get rid of that 4. So since it's b divided by 4, we need to multiply both sides by 4. So the 4's are going to cross off, and I'm just left with b. So b is equal to 5 times 4. 5 times 4 is 20. We can check it. So we plug b, 20 back in for b. So we do 20 divided by 4 plus 5 equals 10. Well, 20 divided by 4 is 5. 5 plus 5. And 5 plus 5 is equal to 10. So that's our check step. It comes out correct, so we know our answer is correct. And then when we look at number 8, so we have w, so it's 3w divided by 5, so we want to isolate all that. So we want to get that negative 2 out. So we want to get rid of negative 2. So the way we do that is add 2 to both sides, the additive inverse. Negative 2 plus 2 is going to give us 0. So we add 2 to the 4. So these cross off, and I bring this whole thing down. So I'm going to write 3w divided by 5 equals 4 plus 2 will give me 6. Now we can do one of two things here. We'll take it one step at a time. So we have 3w divided by 5. So if we want to get rid of this dividing by 5, we need to do the opposite of that. So we need to multiply. So we're going to multiply both sides by 5. So I multiply this by 5. So now these cross off, just the two 5's. And notice I have 3w left over, so I'm going to bring that whole thing down. Equals 30. And then the next step is to get rid of the 3. Since they're connected, we got to break them apart. 3 times w, we want to divide by 3. Divide by 3. So w is equal to 30 divided by 3 is 10. Now another way to do that is I'll write it right down here in red. So we had 3w divided by 5 equals 6. And we could do this in one shorter step, because what we want to do is we want to take the reciprocal of 3/5. So we can take the reciprocal, which is 5/3. So the 5's are going to cross off, and the 3's will cross off. So if we do the reciprocal, so that means we do 5/3. And when we do this, we just do 6 times 5 divided by 3. So we get W equals 6 times 5, which is 30, and 30 divided by 3, which is 10. So we got the same answer both times. So this is the second way is just one less step to do. So you can take the reciprocal. But if you want to do it in the way we did it in the blue, it's just one extra step, but you're making sure you're doing each thing correct. And that is solving our 1 and 2 step equations.